18th of December and the Brexit negotiations are still going on. And they're going on as we hear revelations that the EU are still making some absolutely absurd demands. Demands so ridiculous, frankly. I'm amazed that the British government still haven't walked away. I guess they just don't want to be seen to be those who pulled away from the negotiations first. But as we reach the end of the transition period now, in just a fortnight, these outrageous EU demands just underline how no self-respecting Brexiteer could sign up to anything like these terms. Now, I'm sure some are of the mentality of let's just get any deal done because we want to be seen to get a deal done. But I hope the British government don't go down that route, because the terms on offer are absolutely shocking, including an 8-year transition period. Can you imagine if the British government signed up to that? This thing dragging on with the EU for nearly a decade more. The EU position is ridiculous, and we also hear now that far from their level playing field, where they want to restrict the UK, they now want it to be a rigged playing field in their advantage. I'm going to bring you all the very latest as ever, guys, but please make sure you've hit the subscribe button and the bell, and please give this video a big thumbs up, and also finally look at the join button to become a support. Would really appreciate your support. Now, of course, I'm concerned about a deal being agreed so close to the end of the transition period now that it will get rammed through Parliament, and at over 600 pages, possibly a lot longer than that, there'll be insufficient time to properly scrutinise a document that is going to have far-reaching implications if we do sign up to it. But if you want a flavour of what the EU's demands are, even at this late stage, just look at what the Sun's Harry Cole reported last night. Bleak sounding ring round on the British side, despite good mood music from Michel Barnier. State aid still a major standoff, and no progress on fishing. They're still asking the EU side for 8 years transition, meaning 13 years on, and it is laughable, frankly, 13 years on from the referendum, the UK would still not have taken back control. Unreasonable, says PM. I think that is putting it very, very mildly indeed. And as for and we've seen this fascination, haven't we, from the EU with the so-called level playing field, because they're obviously terrified about Brexit competitive advantage. While, as Harry Cole reports on state aid, the EU want to exempt €750 billion funds from the institutions pump across the continent from any accord, while Britain would be punished for bailing out or subsidising industries. EU would be allowed. That's not a level playing field, says source. So there you go. We're actually even going away from the ridiculous level playing field anyway. But far from the level playing field now, the EU now want a rigged playing field. It just gets more and more ridiculous, frankly. As Harry Cole goes on to say, another described the EU terms as bordering on offensive. Well, not bordering on, they are offensive. They're another insult that have been thrown in. And also, the PM cannot sign in its current terms. The EU side says state aid is being worked through. Barnier says deal can be done on Saturday, but UK side highly sceptical of that currently. Now, another curious development yesterday was Boris Johnson and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen speaking. And Ursula von der Leyen, I think this is the second time she's used it. She used this term in her statement. This evening I took stock with the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson of the ongoing negotiations for a comprehensive partnership agreement between the EU and the UK. That just gives you, I think, a vibe for what the EU foresee this deal as being. In terms of what the British government said after this call, they say that the Prime Minister underlined that negotiations were now in a serious situation. Time was very short, and it now looked very likely that the agreement would not be reached unless the EU position changed substantially. He said that they were making every effort to accommodate reasonable EU demands, As we've just heard, there aren't too many of them being thrown in. I mean, utterly ridiculous demands on the level playing field. But even though the gap had narrowed, some fundamental areas remained difficult. On fisheries, he stressed the UK could not accept a situation where it was the only sovereign country in the world to not be able to control access to its own waters for an extended period, and to be faced with fisheries quotas which hugely disadvantaged its own industry. The EU's position in this area was simply not reasonable, and if there could be an agreement, it needed to shift significantly. As for Lord Frost, he also commented last night saying the situation in our talks with the EU is now very serious. Progress seems blocked and time is running out. As for this morning, well, we heard from the EU's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier. Seems to me now the EU are in a slight state of panic. As a Telegraph report, Brussels wants the power to freeze British companies, and especially the fishing industry, out of the Brexit trade deal and the single market if EU fishermen are shut out of UK waters in the future. So do you think Boris Johnson is going to do a deal with the EU? Let me know in the comments below. How much longer can these negotiations honestly go on for? I'm still worried about that if a deal is done, or in the EU's words, a partnership agreement, that as I said, the level of time and scrutiny over the Christmas and New Year period is going to be incredibly minimal. It's going to be ran through Parliament. But hey, perhaps there will be a clean break. Perhaps Boris will reject these ridiculous terms on offer from the EU. And don't forget, he himself has said that the UK will prosper mightily after a no-deal WTO exit, and would, of course, be able to do exactly what we want. It's called freedom. Now, I did ask my supporters on the channel, and by the way, guys, if you do enjoy my videos, would really appreciate you becoming a supporter. You get the members badge next to your name, and be doing more readouts. I asked my supporters at this stage, do you think Boris is going to do a deal with the EU? Here are the responses. Louise says he will definitely sell his soul to the devil. Well, Louise, I've always taken a view on this channel that I want to give the British government, Boris Johnson, Lord Frost, the benefit of the doubt. And they've said a lot of the right things. But this really is crunch time now, isn't it? We will now see what's going to happen. Ian saying yes, he does think a deal will be done, but the deal will be revealed for the fudge it is afterwards. Well, and again, that's one of the risks here if a deal is done. So little time now that how much serious scrutiny is going to be put on this. And Peter saying we have come so far. I hope we go for a no deal, as a deal document will be so large that the 600 plus pages, there is no time to scrutinise it and they could slip anything into it. One thing's for sure, guys, whatever does happen over the next few days, you can rely on me here on this channel to keep bringing you the very latest. So do keep checking back for daily videos. Do please, if you've enjoyed this video, as well as giving it a thumbs up, please do spread it out far and wide on Twitter, on Facebook. Post these videos. I'd really appreciate you supporting me in that way as well. And of course, you can become a supporter by hitting the join button down below. And of course, guys, as ever, thank you so much for watching.